join with us. When we went through that process, we at the end of it, we clearly saw his desire to join with us, and we desired just to go through some basics of the faith with him, and he received that very well. And so he and I have been meeting and working through a book on the gospel, and he has just been soaking that up, rejoicing in the truth, and so it's with joy that the deacons and I recommend him for membership. So at this time, I'm going to ask you if you'll leave Jared so we can talk about you.
Bye, Jared.
And just to explain that again, we try to do our due diligence as leaders to investigate the life and profession of faith. But we want you as members to have the freedom to, if we have missed something, be able to say something without them being here. So that's really the intent behind dismissing him, not so that he immediately feels like an outsider. That's not the desire at all. So we have expressed our recommendation that we accept him into membership. And at this time, I'm looking for a motion to that end. Okay. So move in the back. You know that I can't remember names. This would be great. Lori makes a motion that we so move. Do we have a second to that end? Okay. Tim seconds that. All in favor of accepting Jared into the membership, please express by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. So we can welcome him back in, and once we're all done, we'll ask Jared to come up. I'll wait for that. He truly did go somewhere.
I suppose.
Jared, welcome, and afterwards we'll just ask you to come up here so we can all shake your hand and say nice things to you.
Well,
now we do have some just family life to work through, and it's important that we're passing things on to you at different times so that you can be praying and considering your own responsibility with these matters. Some of these things are hard to work through, and yet God is working through everything for His glory and for our good. And so there are some people that have expressed a desire to leave our membership. The Cards, and also Tammy. And you might have noticed that they haven't been around recently. They're looking for other churches. Now, we don't have something in our Constitution just to receive a letter and somebody say, just remove me from membership. So going through that process is difficult to know how are we involved and what is right, what is good to go through. But how we have tried to respond to that is that I'm trying to be in careful communication with them to see them go to another church, if that makes sense. And at the end of the day, we want people to be with a local group of believers that they can join wholeheartedly with and grow in the Lord and serve God and others with. And so it hurts when somebody says, I can't do that here. And there are questions that come in our minds, of course, as well as in your minds. And I don't have all the answers. In fact, I know very little in some of these situations. And I would appreciate just you praying for us as we try to help these people and shepherd these people as they go find another local assembly. I encourage you that these people are, so we're not saying anathema, stay away. And if you have relationships with these people, then by all means, however you can encourage them and express prayer for them and love for them, by all means. But that's their intent, and according to what they've said, they are searching for different churches. So I just want to keep you informed there. At the end of all these things, if you have questions, then you can ask those. So if you have questions there, just log those and be ready with them. One thing maybe that comes with that is we have had, and I've heard this since before even coming here, just a desire that others join with us. And so a question becomes up, how do we become a welcoming church, a church that people come here and they say, wow, this is a group of people that loves the Lord and I want to be with them. And of course we understand providentially that it's God who brings people to salvation. He is the one who adds others to His church. And we want to recognize that, and we're not looking to force anybody into something. But maybe one question that I pose there is just, let's all make sure we're considering, how do I be a faithful believer in whatever context I'm in? So we say, we have this term, Sunday morning Christian. And I think in regards to being a welcoming church, it's important that we understand that that shouldn't just happen on Sundays either. Are we those that are seeking to love our neighbors as ourselves, whether it's co-workers, neighbors, relatives, whatever people, hard or easy to love that God brings into our lives. And as we practice that on a regular basis, then hopefully Sunday is just more of the same. So as we see others, we're expressing the joy of the Lord, and we're caring for their souls, and we're coming alongside and encouraging them. Regarding here, it's just taking me a little while to see what is church life like here, and I really do believe that we care for each other. I've rejoiced in the care that you've expressed for our family and the love that you have for God and His people. As you come, sometimes it's a good experience. As you come, try to think like an outsider. And so as you're walking into the building, what would somebody this is their first day of walking into the building here, what would they see that I don't see because I've seen it 1,000 times? As you come into here, okay, how can I be somebody who's part of a church that's welcoming others? So I'm going to step on hollow ground here before my first year is even done and talk about seating. Okay, as you sit, think, when do visitors sometimes come to church? And they're here 20 minutes early. Not so much. They might be one of the last people here. And so, just think, somebody who's coming in as we're starting to sing our first song, and what do they see? And let's just be thinking about seating, and as they come in, we understand what it means to come in late and already feel awkward, and now you look around, and where is the open seating? Right in front, you know. And that's not always true, and I don't really look at this kind of thing, but that's an example of trying to look. So I'm not trying to harp on those that enjoy the back row. We are Baptists, after all. The back row is premium seating. Or maybe you have young children and you're thinking of that. There's all kinds of factors here. All I'm asking you to do is just to think through, what do we do that shows that we care about other people? It's not a sin to sit in the back row by any means. I'm glad you're here. Please keep coming. But, what can we do? So maybe there are good reasons that put you wherever you're sitting. What can we do, whatever it is, that helps people to show we're thinking of them? Sometimes we're going to get that wrong because we don't know what people are looking for, and that's okay. Maybe they're looking for something that we're not. That's okay. We're trying to be a faithful group of people, Grace Baptist Church, and honor God. But it's okay to think about these questions too, and to think, how can we show others that we have them in mind? There's a lot more we could say there, but we're trying to think through what does having greeters at the door look like? What does all kinds of things. And if you have ideas, please by all means come to one of us and say, has anybody noticed this? And then now that helps us to put that on our radar as well. So one thing that we do need to pass on is, as we looked at the first quarter of income, expense, and budget, it was a rough quarter. And as far as I can tell, and Jeff, I believe this is right, our spending is within our budget, so we don't have areas that we're just going way outside of our budget. But as far as income, as far as the giving, that's where there's a difference. And so we had a shortfall of income to expense of a little over $5,500 for the first quarter. Now, we don't have a huge savings to weather that kind of quarter repeatedly for years on end. We do have savings, and so we're okay. We have money in the bank. But we're looking at, just the first quarter so far, the giving and what we set up by budget, we're roughly $500 short a week. $500 short, some dollars short per week. Now, we did have that canceled Sunday in there, and some people say you never quite make that money back. So there's other factors as well, but we just want to let you know that's what's been happening. Now, there's pretty good evidence, and I don't see all the numbers, I see actually very few numbers, but there's pretty good evidence to show people are being faithful, they're giving, but the reality is we're in a building that's for a size of congregation that's 3 to 4 times our size, and we're still trying to pay for it and be faithful. And that's expensive. And so what do we do with that number? Well, we don't want to just brush it aside. Neither do we want to totally overreact and lose our sanity. But it is a big number. And so one very practical suggestion, by way of starting from that, is I just encourage you to be praying for our church. And that's not to say that you're not already, but maybe choose out one meal a day. Say, well, every time I eat breakfast, or lunch, or supper, that you would intentionally pray for Grace Baptist Church. Not just the finances, but that we would be faithful to Jesus Christ, we'd be faithful to the Word, we'd love our God and love others, and that God would do what we cannot. And so God is in control of all things, and He uses difficulties as well as blessings to grow His people. And so we look at this and we say, ouch, that hurts. Really hope that doesn't continue. And maybe this is something that God uses in our lives to drive us to depend on Him more. That's okay. And not only okay, but that's good. God desires to grow us through things like this, individuals and as a church. So I just encourage you, however you do that, to be praying for us, that we be faithful. Absolutely pray that more would come to join with us in our desire to reach Monroe and to be faithful followers of Jesus Christ. So let's allow this difficulty to grow us and plead that God would, through this, also be growing His church, bringing other believers to join with us, bring unbelievers to hear the truth of the gospel, to be converted, and to follow after Christ. Now with that, we just took a trip as leaders to T4G to a conference, and I thought, man, the timing. Here go a bunch of guys, they spend money, and then we come back and say, we don't have enough money. So I just want to explain a few things there to try to help you, and also we want to be accountable to you with how we spend money. Every one of the guys that went, besides me, paid for their registration from their own pocket. So that was not a cost to the church. My registration was a cost to the church, and it was purchased November, I think, of last year. And so that was already paid for from the ministry expense fund that you've set up for me to use. As we went, some of you gave extra towards that, and so we used that for some of the lodging and the gas and some of the food. It was a great blessing that you gave. But again, the only money that would have come from the church was some of it to cover the lodging. I have to stay somewhere anyway, whether guys are with me or not, and for some of my food. So that will be, the ministry expense, of course, will be if we need to start looking further at the Tier 1 budget. That's something that we're going to examine. Can we still spend money towards that kind of thing, towards books or towards food for me and stuff like that? All of this stuff is fair game when you start looking at the deficit. But I just want you to know this was not at a great, huge cost to the church. Some of it was for me, but some of it was in the last fiscal year that we had already spent. If you have further questions, by all means, you can follow up with that. But I just want to be careful in how we presented things, and we are trying to be careful with spending. Let's see here. I believe that's all. Guys, is there anything that I've left off that we wanted to make sure to bring up? Any questions that you would have in regard to any of these things? Might not want to ask, but maybe somebody else is thinking of it as well. All right, again, if I can get anything through in light of some of these things, it's God uses difficulties to grow us. And so let these things be cause for us to turn to God in greater dependence. I'm so thankful for the deacons because I can go to them and say, guys, and then they're there to jump into the conversation with me and pray alongside me in that. But we do plead for wisdom. And this is a conversation that we would welcome you to join into. If you have things that you think of throughout the week, well, what about this or that? We desire to be approachable. We see great benefit in the congregation owning this ministry. And so if there are ways that you can contribute to this conversation, please join in to that as we go along the way. So thankful for Jeff, is careful in what he does as treasurer, and really we're going off of his careful work so that we have an accurate view of what we're doing. And of course, we want to be faithful in the mortgage that we are in the building, and do honor to the Lord by being faithful with our financial responsibilities. So these things are all important to us. But if it's heavy, then let that heaviness turn our hearts to God and depend upon Him. Let's end with prayer and go on our ways. God, thank you that you are in control. Even as we considered in Sunday school this morning, as Jesus said, all power in heaven and on earth is given to me. And we rejoice in that. We rejoice in the head of our church, Jesus Christ, that He has authority. And we know that in your wisdom, you sometimes bring us to difficulties. Personally, as a family, as a church family, as a country, as a city. There's just so many different ways that you use hardship to grow your people and to bring glory to your name. And so please use this in our life as a church. We rejoice that Jared joining with us. Thank you for his desire to be a faithful follower of Jesus Christ. We're burdened for Tom and Vicky and for Tammy, and we desire that you would care for their souls, that they be faithful followers of Jesus Christ as well, that you give us wisdom in knowing how to see them depart, that you give us faith in trusting in you, the one who's in control of all things. Thank you for money. You use it so often to cause us to depend upon you.